Hello, investors. It is Connor Bates, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Thursday, May 15th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, coming to you with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. Market state, we're still in an uptrend since those follow-through days. And if we take a look at trend gauge, it is looking a lot better than it did a month ago. Market leaders, green arrow in grow mode. Short term, we're trending above an upward sloping 21 EMA. Medium term, we're trading above the 50-day moving average. And long term, we're above the 200-day. Just looking for that slope up a little bit more to get the full green arrow. Kind of a back-to-back digestion days. Leaders holding up pretty well, holding key levels. And yeah, index is mildly positive today and closed back above 5,900. So nothing to complain about for the bulls today. 21 over 21 list down 0.52%, 9 green, 12 red. Big 8 down 0.66%, RG8 flat up 0.02%. 60/40 stock and bond up 0.56% on the day. GROTECTION up 0.16% and TurboTection down 0.74% on the day. Let's get into the interasset correlation and chart S&P 500, and just bulls continue to hang in there and hold this up strong. Another higher high today, closing back above 5,900 is good. So really next level to watch is the 6,000 level. But again, nothing wrong with this off these April lows, continue to make higher highs, rise trending above rising moving averages. See if this 200-day can start to slope back up. Take a look at 60-minute, and again, gaps continue to get supported here, and that's really good to see. Take a look at the weekly, and again, back above all the weekly moving averages as well. So as a bull, this looks good, and even a pullback, back to the 8 EMA or the 200-day would still be overall constructive, open to all scenarios, but volatility is really drying down. The range of the S&P 500 is contracting, and we continue to see stocks outperform and the indexes grind higher. RSP relative strength here today. Nice hammer off the 200-day, up 0.91% on the day, and similar commentary to the S&P 500 since this April lows continue to build higher lows. And that's it really can be that simple sometimes. A lot of people talking about the macro environment, and it is something to look into and keep an eye out, but price is what pays, and the trend is up for now. QQQ continue to move higher. Maybe it handles out here. Maybe it shoots back up to these highs. But again, strong action continues to build higher highs. Mag 7, they were holding down the Qs today a little bit, down 1.14%, but overall chart looks completely normal. Dow trying to get back above the 200-day. United Healthcare has just been getting hammered lately, and that's kind of what's been contributing some of the weakness in the Dow, but closes the day up and back above the 200-day. Mid caps consolidating in a flag here right below the 200-day. Russell 2000, obviously below the 200-day in this 2200 spot, but looks good, flagging similar to the other indexes, just below a declining 200-day. ARC, not bad here. Maybe this forms a handle on this right side. Leaders back above the 200-day, good action there. Maybe it handles after this cup. VIX 17.83, back below 18, and this just coincides with when the VIX is sub 20. That's some of the nice trend falling environment. The dollar trying to come back up, hold this 100 spot. Gold holding the 50-day. Keep an eye on this one. Is this going to rally back up into 300 and reject and move lower, which the move up in equities has been with gold moving down, kind of putting a double top here and is lower. So holding the 50-day for now. Maybe this rejects the 21 and rolls back over, but money rotating out of gold lately. GDX, gold stocks as well, similar chart here. Silver looks pretty solid. Again, just in a big base. This probably needs to break out for this to get some momentum. Bitcoin, great action here. 5 days of tightness below these previous all-time highs. Bounced off the 8 EMA. This one looks good. This continues to look great. Bonds, not a whole lot to say here, just up 0.54%. TLT, similar thing there. Rates rejecting these highs here, and outside negative reversal there as well. That is the inter-asset correlation. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. So every Thursday we got some sentiment readings today, and the NAM exposure index actually dropped down to 70. Last week's reading was 81, this week's 70. So not nothing to be overly concerned about. When this starts to get into 90 to 100, that tends to mark a reversal. But again, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but breadth indicators are much more accurate for spotting reversals versus spotting tops, right? Historically, the stock market goes up, can stay overbought for a lot longer than you think, versus to the downside, you start to get some fear a lot quicker. And when you get those washouts and those breath on the downside, they tend to be a lot more accurate in timing reversals. But that's good. The bulls, good to see this. This is a pretty hated rally. Uh, yeah, it's a pretty hated rally. Um, let's see, still operating on the bull case. News bigger than any economic data we could have. Don is on IBD Live tomorrow morning. I think this is his third appearance now, and if you guys have a subscription, I highly recommend watching. He's got a really good presentation about some aggressive index reentry rules, so it's going to be really good. And each time he's been on there, just a ton of good insight from a portfolio manager. So highly recommend tuning into that if you can. Today's keys: S&P versus the 200-day, green arrow there. Next stop of resistance is 6,000. As long as that, we took out 5,900 today, as long as that holds. Qs versus 200-day, and then again resistance at 530. Up 3/4, 17 days above the 8, 16 days above the 21. Short-term expectations remain positive. Let's see, sectors wise: staples, utilities, real estate, retail, bio up today. Oils, relative weakness along with China. Baba had earnings today. Pretty lackluster response on earnings. Trades today: GROTECTION bought NVIDIA and then added on to UPRO, HIMS, Hood, and GEV. RVAB 1.21 minus 6.37% open heat. TurboTection only added to IBIT today, 1.12 beta minus 5.4% open heat. Bottom line, day two digestion day with leaders holding key levels. Can't really ask for a whole lot more from if you're a bull today. Let's take a look at the charts. Let's go start with GROTECTION trades today. NVIDIA, recent relative strength. Semiconductors are coming back to life, and if the sector's going to go higher, this one certainly is going to participate. Back above all the moving averages, this has got a 1-year base. So facts are changing on this one a little bit. 140.76, that's kind of a next level of resistance. And then after that, you have all these all-time highs. So maybe it shoots back up into their handles or just consolidates, but nevertheless, money rotating back into semiconductors. Added to UPRO, covered the S&P 500 chart. HIMS added to this one. This one got ants the other day and bounced off the AEMA. And one thing I kind of wanted to mention in this chart, HIMS, is that I would classify this as a momentum leader, right? It's got great fundamentals. It's thematic. It's a relatively volatile stock. And one characteristic that you will note is in these stocks that are going at pretty much 45-degree angle of ascent, the AEMA is a fantastic entry spot to either initiate a new position or add on to it, which GROTECTION did today. But again, these high momentum stocks that are strong can ride these short-term moving averages for quite some time. And I believe we can take a look at SMCI. This was in 2024, and right, look at this, just went from 300 to 1,077. Every touch of the 8 supported. Sometimes it didn't even touch it, but again, that's just a good picture of what a leading stock with momentum can do in the right market. So that was HIMS today. Robinhood, kind of similar thing, right? Hammer off the 8. The stock's got a lot of momentum. back above this 60 level. So the 66.91 spot. Uh, Next level to watch really here. If it comes back up, handles, but definitely a chart theme right now is that a lot of these stocks, super strong runs up out of these double bottom bases. Coming in, some are coming in some previous left side highs from earlier this year or 2024. So ideal case for the bulls would be to form some handles or just break out. Palantir is a good example of that. Rejected it on earnings, but formed a handle and then is continuing higher. And then GEV pulling back to the 8, exactly same chart theme, right? Pulling back up into those January 2025 highs. Let's see if this can handle out on the right side. But just great action from the leaders. And then TurboTaction just added to IBIT, consolidating at the highs, forming a 5-day flag. Would potentially look to add on to this again if this can break out of this base. We talked about Bitcoin a lot. Chart looks fantastic across monthly, weekly, and daily timeframes. Okay, that's trades today. Let's take a look at 21 over 21 list. Netflix, just a beast. Again, pulled back to the 21 into new highs. And like I just mentioned with these pullbacks in a strong market, these pullbacks can be opportunities. And now this is back into highs. Chewy coming out of this, breaking out into highs. Spotify just consolidating right under these highs. This one continues to look good. Boeing continues to move higher out of this base. And after being a dog for so long, huge character change here. You can see this relative strength line. And yeah, it's continuing higher. And just another reason why the tape tells all. You didn't even have to be looking at all the news flow on Boeing to recognize that this was not a stock that you wanted to know. And lo and behold, right when the news starts to turn back up, that coincides with this kind of breaking out of stage one weekly base. So good action there. And then I'll just talk about UNH because this stock has wiped out 5 years of gains, and let this be a lesson to anyone holding this that you need to have a sell discipline. Before the news even got so bad, this was heading into a stage 4 decline. The chart told you before the news. So this kind of capitulated a little bit today. Wouldn't be surprised if this kind of bounces back up. It's extremely oversold, but obviously we'd never touch something like this. But again, just another reminder, don't buy crappy charts. Zscaler, one of the leaders in the cybersecurity space, continuing higher relative strength line, new highs. Toast, again, volume, tons of blue bars here, volumes pouring in. This is, again, another chart theme setup. Would love this to handle, or if this can consolidate under these highs, but it looks really good. Avgo leading semiconductors and just coming back up into these highs, see how it acts there. But huge change in character for the semiconductor complex. ARM's another one, trying to get back above the 200-day. And even AMD, right? This one's breaking a big downtrend line, still below the 200-day, but just kind of trying to paint the picture that a lot of semiconductors are coming back to life. See Marvell, this one's shown weakness, but LRCX is trying to come out of a big base. So yeah, see, and then we can just take a look at SOX charts, trying to flag here above the 200-day. Guidewire consolidating under the highs. CRS, new highs on this in GROTECTION, good action. Bitcoin, good action. Uber consolidating underneath these highs, good action as well. And yeah, this has got a big base. Bigger the base, the higher in space. So we'll see if that plays out. But again, kind of a base on base pattern on the weekly as well. So see if this one can get going. Bros, up the right side, maybe this handles, but it's got a nice cut base. It's pretty strong earnings reaction the other week. TMDX, another one that's coming back to life. Big underperformer back here, but breaking out of this big stage one base back above the 200-day and had some good earnings, a nice earnings gap and go set up here. Robinhood mentioned this one, GEV as well. Tesla, tons of momentum right now. After getting back above the 200-day and 300 level, this is 5 days up in a row. Digestion day today, but again, this one looks really good. And 300 was really that key level, kind of a big monthly undercut and reclaim. So I've talked about this before, but character of Tesla stock is big runs and then big periods of bases. From this since the stock has been trading, you can see big monthly base, big run up, huge multi-year base, big run up, and again, really this stock has been basing for 5 years. Obviously, there's huge moves inside the base that we've traded as well. You know, you get big moves, multiple 100% moves, but overall, once this takes out these highs with force, that would be the clear signal that this one's ready to go. As if we, look at the daily, still some overhead up here, but this one's acting really well. Palantir, good action from this one, retested these previous highs and held. Duolingo and showing up. This one's had a big breakout on earnings, continues to make higher highs. Cart kind of forming a cup and handle base here. Carvana, again, so strong. Broke out, now kind of pulling back to that 292.84 pivot and cooled off from that 300 level. And then HIMS covered this one as well. But despite the 21 over 21 index being red, you can see super healthy action across the board after some big runs in some of these names. Palantir is a good example. So nothing wrong with some consolidation for some names. Leaders are very apparent at this point in the market. So now it's more so about, locking some gains into strength and then looking for low risk entry spots, and potentially adding to names. That is the mindset that we're in right now at Revere. And as long as S&P holds above, holds above the 200-day 8 and 21, along with on any pullbacks back to the support, then it looks good to be a bull. So see if 6,000 comes tomorrow. If not, maybe flag out here. But that is that. That is everything I got. And again, another reminder, Don is on IBD Live tomorrow, so that should be very good. That is going to wrap it. As always, love to hear from you. My email is connor@revereasset.com, and then you can reach out to Dan or Don at revereasset.com. You can find me on Twitter or X at ConnorJBates_. Phone is 855-REAL-WEALTH, 855-732-5932. If you're ever interested in becoming a client, as always, please reach out. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.